The Galactic Council's emergency session had been in progress for 17 standard hours. Representatives from 200 species sat in stunned silence as Admiral Vox of the Taurian Defense Fleet finished his presentation. And so, the six-limbed alien concluded, his voice amplifier barely masking his tremor, "We must acknowledge that we have discovered the apex predator of the known galaxy." Counselor Mira, her crystalline form glinting under the chamber lights, spoke first. "You speak of a single human outpost defeating a Drak battle cruiser? Impossible. The Drak have never known defeat." "Not just defeated," Vox corrected. "Hunted." The display behind him showed the wreckage of the massive Drak vessel, once the pride of the most feared warrior race in the quadrant. The damage pattern was methodical, systematic. The ship hadn't merely been destroyed, it had been dissected. Captain Tom of Earth's Interstellar Defense Force stood before the Council the next day. He was small compared to many species present, lacking natural armor, venom, or enhanced strength. By all physical metrics, humans should have been prey. "The Drak violated our colony's airspace and ignored warnings," Tom explained calmly. "We responded accordingly. With a vessel 1/5 their size," Counselor Lorne rumbled. "How?" Tom's expression remained neutral. "We observed their patterns. 3 previous encounters taught us their shield modulation sequence. We adapted." "You learned from each encounter?" asked Mira. "Of course. Isn't that what all species do?" The silence in the chamber answered his question. Dr. Hall examined the alien pathogen under the microscope. The bacterial agent had decimated 4 worlds in the Centaurus sector, evolving faster than any quarantine measure could contain it. "Interesting," he muttered to his colleague. "It adapts through binary fission at an accelerated rate." Dr. Reed nodded. "Reminds me of antibiotic-resistant strains from old Earth, which we defeated centuries ago," Hal added, already formulating an approach. "Life on Earth tried to kill us with everything from smallpox to super tuberculosis. This pathogen is clever, but it's following predictable mutation patterns." Within 3 weeks, the human medical team had engineered a countermeasure. The Centauri worlds watched in awe as humans voluntarily entered contaminated zones, seemingly unconcerned with the risks. "How can they be so fearless?" asked the Centauri ambassador. The human commander shrugged. "Our homeworld tried to kill us for millions of years. We're used to it." The Regelian trade delegation approached the treaty discussion with caution. Humans had a reputation for aggressive negotiation tactics that bordered on predatory. "Your terms are unacceptable," the lead negotiator, Ben, stated flatly. "You've concealed resource deposits on the shared moons." The Regelian minister's gill flaps pulsed in alarm. Their species was physically incapable of hiding emotion, a trait humans had quickly identified and leveraged. "How did you know?" the minister asked. "We didn't," Ben replied with a thin smile, "but thank you for confirming." The Regelian delegation realized too late they'd been caught in a simple trap, one that wouldn't have worked on any species that had evolved as a predator. Later, the Regelian minister asked his human counterpart, "Why are humans so effective at these games of deception?" "On Earth," that explained, "we were both predator and prey. We had to outsmart creatures stronger than us, while also understanding the minds of those we hunted. Deception became a survival strategy long before we discovered fire." The observation deck aboard the Galactic Council station offered a panoramic view of the neighboring star system. 2 counselors watched a small human mining operation extract resources from an asteroid belt previously deemed too dangerous to approach. "They calculate risks differently," noted Counselor Lorne. "Every other spacefaring race evolved to avoid unnecessary dangers." "Their homeworld was uniquely hostile," Mira replied. "They faced extinction 47 times before achieving space travel. And each time, they adapted. They survived," they remembered. The human ships danced through the asteroid field with precision that seemed reckless yet was clearly calculated. When a sudden solar flare erupted, other species' vessels retreated immediately. The humans adjusted their shields and continued working. "Their persistence is unnerving," Lorne observed. "It's what makes them apex predators," Mira replied. "Not their strength or technology, but their refusal to accept defeat. The Galactic Council concluded its assessment 1 standard year later. The classification was unanimous. Humans were designated the galaxy's most formidable predator species, despite their unimposing physiology. The official records cited not their weapons or their strength, but 5 key traits. First, their pattern recognition abilities, evolved to track prey across vast distances, now allowed them to decode alien technologies with alarming speed. Second, their risk assessment. They didn't avoid danger. They calculated it, accepting losses that would paralyze other species. Third, their cooperative hunting behavior. Humans formed flexible social units that could reorganize instantly to address threats. Fourth, their environmental adaptability, a legacy of evolving on a planet with dramatically varying climates and threats. Finally, and most terrifyingly, their memory. Humans never forgot a threat. They studied it, prepared for it, and ensured they would triumph in the next encounter. As Admiral Vox updated the Council on human expansion efforts, all peaceful, all within treaty guidelines, he concluded with a warning. They do not think like prey, ever vigilant for predators. Nor do they think like typical predators, concerned only with the next hunt. Humans think like survivors. They prepare not just for known threats, but for ones they've only imagined. And in doing so, they have become the most terrifying species in the galaxy, predators who hunt with their minds. The council chamber fell silent once more. No species had evolved to counter such a threat, yet humanity had extended peace to all, offering protection rather than conquest. For now.